Well, Donald Trump said yesterday that Joe Biden is doing everything possible to try to make this transition difficult. First, listen to this and we'll talk about it.
You know, they talk about a transition. They're always saying, oh, no, we want to have a smooth transition from party to party of government. Well, they're making it really difficult. They're throwing everything they can in the way. They're giving out trillions of dollars in nonsense, in Green New Deal crap that isn't worth a damn thing. In fact, it's a negative for the country, not a positive.
What they're trying to do is get all that money out the door.
Yeah. There are a lot of things that they're doing to try to make it more difficult and to sabotage Donald Trump's campaign or his presidency when he gets in office in 2 weeks. Not only are they trying to ban that offshore drilling, last week they tried to limit energy development in Nevada for the next 20 years. They tried to auction off the border wall at pennies on a dollar. Thankfully, your governor down there in the great state of Texas, Lawrence, stopped it. And the court system actually blocked it, which was wonderful. He allowed, don't forget, during the last 4 years, millions of illegals to cross our border. On day one, he cut off the pipelines. He opened up the border. So now he is panicked because Donald Trump's going to come in and make America great again, lower our costs, lower inflation, and he wants his agenda to be pushed through. Now, he's making it very difficult. Donald Trump does have a difficult task because if he does try to have an executive order that says, no, you will be able to drill. This happened in 2019 when he did this with Barack Obama. And then he signed the executive order. It went to court. It was challenged in court. So it was tied up in court for a while. So the best thing we can hope for is that Congress will eradicate all this or just change the laws, change the no drilling laws and do that immediately. We have a very slim majority and Donald Trump is going to have to rely on all those Republicans to get his agenda across, not their own, but his.
Well, keep in mind, we have heard Donald Trump say from the get-go on day one, it's going to be drill, baby, drill. So the Democrats and this administration is trying to put as many roadblocks in the way as possible.
Yes.
I agree with him. I agree with what they're both saying. Okay, so you're putting all these roadblocks in the way. President Trump, obviously, he has said this many times, drill, baby, drill. Okay. So we drill. Okay. What's going to happen is, from what I understand, our prices in terms of gas is going to come down. You're going to go ahead and increase job opportunities for American citizens. This is from what I understand. Okay. Explain to me why this is a bad thing. Explain to me, please, why this is a bad thing. I don't view this as being bad for America. So this is just childish stuff. It's childish, man. It is the Democrats, man, really showing who they are. You want to talk about people living in the past, the psyop, people that are violent, people that are childish, people that are setting up roadblocks, and they don't have America's best interests in mind. Oh my God, it's got to be this current Democratic Party. Let's continue.
And so what are they doing? They're waiting until the last minute, the 11th hour to do all this stuff. And Ainsley, as you pointed out, when Donald Trump tried to undo some of the Barack Obama drilling things, the court said, no, you can't do it, found it unconstitutional, and said the only way to fix it is Congress. The problem with Congress is because Mike Johnson has got such a slim majority and you need 60 in the Senate, they're going to have to put this on one of the reconciliation bills. And as we heard from the president a couple of days ago, he would like one big, beautiful bill. Now the fight on Capitol Hill, because Trump's going to visit with Senate Republicans tomorrow night. Senate Republicans are going to try to talk him into two bills because one bill is dangerous. And if it's just one bill, it's going to have to wait till May, whereas if it's two bills, they can do border and energy pretty much right out the gate.
I know there has to be a conversation about the Democrats not learning anything from the election.
Right.
Donald Trump ran on drill, baby, drill. The voters said that they wanted him there. They supported the agenda of that. And so for the Democrats to not moderate on any of that and essentially back Joe Biden and saying, hurrah, hurrah, block Donald Trump in every move when it comes to this, it just seems like this is going to be a resistance campaign yet again from the Democrats that they're not going to try to work on ways that they can agree. Why try to further this notion when the voters, even in your party, you lost them? So work with them on it.
Yeah.
Try to get some type of compromise when it comes to, I don't know what they want, cleaner drilling and all. There's ways to work on that. Making all energy clean. But to suggest that we shouldn't be drilling and to limit the president, try to block him on that, it's not smart.
625 million acres they're trying to ban. They stop offshore drilling, which is 14% of all our oil and gas production. He's also going to be in California today as the president, he's going to set aside creating a national monument in the south of Joshua Tree, banning drilling, mining, and other industrial activities. By the way, when you ban mining, you're stopping the construction of batteries. So you have rare earth needed for this batteries to get us off oil and gas. You can't at the same time tell people in Minnesota you can't strip mine and you can't mine in Nevada. That's where all our gas or all our rare earth is. Or we could get it from the Congo. Oh, sorry. Through the Belt and Road program, the Congo now belongs to China. Right. So it's you keep on cutting off your own knees every time you start to talk about green energy. So I think the president's going to try to repurpose a lot of the Inflation Reduction Act.
If Joe Biden really wanted this, why didn't he do it 4 years ago? He's doing this to sabotage Donald Trump.
This green nonsense is just out of control. Guys, over the break, I rented a car, and I thought that it was, I drive a truck, but I wanted a speed car. So I get this car and didn't know. It looks like a regular car. It doesn't say it on there. They don't tell me at the rental car. It ends up being a electric car. Guys, I went to 12 different. Finally, it runs out of power. Yeah. I had to get it towed. I have never been more against electric vehicles.
Did you try to re-energize?
Yes, I go to 12 different locations. It doesn't have the right connector. They all don't use the same different electric cable.
They got different plugs.
So finally, I run out of power. And I have never been more furious.
Well, I hear that the rental cars can't rent them. Nobody wants
so now they're hiding it.
Right. And now there's no more subsidies.
Was this in Hawaii? So people are driving along, tourists are driving by going, hey, honey, did you see that guy? It looked like that guy from the morning show.
It was extremely embarrassing.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
There you have it, man. There you have it, man. Just another roadblock for President Trump. And this is the party that claimed to be grown-ups. If you remember, the parties of the grown-ups. You guys are acting like everything besides grown-ups. You are acting like children that are mad that you lost, trying to sabotage. I don't know if you're trying to cover up any shady dealings that might be uncovered. A lot of the things that you said you wouldn't do, you're doing. Smooth transition, pardoning a bunch of people, namely your son, Hunter Biden. So many things that's happening. So many things that President Trump would have been crucified for, you're doing. Absolutely. I mean, you guys are still bringing up January 6th. How many years ago? What, 4 years ago? You're still bringing it up. Oh, and we'll address that later. But the people have voted. The people have voted out the current administration, and they brought back Donald Trump. People feel that we were in a better situation as a country when Trump was president. People feel like the Biden administration has failed. People feel like Joe Biden quit on this country. Other people feel like Joe Biden was forced out. And then you have a candidate in Kamala Harris that people feel was unqualified and just sits there, and it seems like at times very clueless when it comes to things that are very important. And seems like she lies a lot. The very thing that you guys want to talk about, Donald Trump. It appears that the Biden administration are the ones that are the liars. They're the ones that are sabotaging President Trump. You guys are being childish over this whole situation, and it surprises me, man. Once again, I did not pay this close attention to politics back in the day. Because of what's happening, the malfeasance that's happening in the stock market, it brings me to politics because I see how they're interconnected. And I see how politicians unfortunately front run stocks, and they have become very, very wealthy, rich, because they become very, very great investors. Somehow they're politicians, but they're great investors making all of this money. I should have been a damn politician. Let's go. Let's take a look here. We're going to talk about JB once again.
Well, later today, on January 6th, Congress is going to will certify Mark's President-elect Trump's election results, and President Biden wasting no time cementing his far-left climate legacy with a last-ditch effort permanently banning offshore drilling in most U.S. waters. Incoming White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt joins us right now. Caroline, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good to see you, Steve.
It's good to see you. So on the way out, in his last 2 weeks, what he's trying to do is he's trying to slow down Donald Trump, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. This is a disgraceful decision by the Biden administration. And I say the administration because we all know Joe Biden doesn't know what's going on. This isn't him. This is the radical left environmental extremists in his administration who don't care about what's in the best interest of the American people who just reelected President Trump with a resounding mandate to drill, baby, drill. This decision, the intent behind it is to exact political revenge on the American people and on President Trump to try to slow down his administration and make it harder to implement the agenda that he campaigned on. But the good news is President Trump is going to get to work to day one. His administration will look at how we can rescind this radical order and expedite permits for drilling and for fracking to bring down the cost of living and energy in this country. That's what he campaigned on, and the American people can expect President Trump to deliver on that promise. He will not be deterred.
Well, and here's the thing, Caroline. Apparently, a lot of these lands, and we're talking about the East Coast, West Coast, down the Gulf Coast, and up around the Bering Sea, a lot of these areas, gas refiners have not really had any interest in developing anyway. But nonetheless, it's just symbolic. And I know it's going to be challenged in court, and I know that Republicans can change the law. But still, for him to do it in the last 2 weeks, rather than his first 2 weeks, it speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm. It does. As I said, this is the Biden administration simply trying to throw a sucker punch at President Trump on Joe Biden's way out the door.
Right.
But this is going to be Joe Biden's legacy, not doing what's in the best interest for the American people to bring down the cost of living and inflation that has been robbing them of their hard-earned paychecks every week. No, it's about throwing stones at those who don't believe in their ideology. It's about being anti-Trump, not pro-America. But that's all going to change on January 20th, rest assured.
This really makes JB look bad. Joe Biden, I mean, you want to talk about someone who is just not going out gracefully is this man. JB. It's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame to see any American president go out like this. This guy, wow, he just really looks bad. He just really looks bad. And, you know, there's speculation that he's not calling the shot. He's not calling the shots. He's just a figurehead, which could be true. We're not 100% sure. He's definitely, it appears his acuity has declined over the years. And of course, there's that Wall Street Journal report that says that this has been a decline since he became president. So this has been a decline over the last 4 years. So who's really calling the shots over there, man? Who is really calling the shots? This right here is just some childish play. They childish play with real world repercussions. Let's just keep this in mind. These people are so out of touch with regular, everyday people like myself and you that they can do things like this that have real world consequences, and it doesn't impact them at all. I mean, it makes his legacy look horrible, and I'm talking about Joe Biden. But once again, the people have spoken. That administration has been voted out.
And that is exactly 2 weeks from today. Now, today, January 6th, this is a day when, according to our laws, they've got to certify the presidential election. What is throwing kind of a monkey wrench into things, Caroline, is the fact that it's a snow day in Washington, and the federal government technically is closed. The schools are closed. But Republican leaders said, hey, members of Congress who are Republicans, make sure you stay in town over the weekend, and most of them did. Democrats left town. But nonetheless, it sounds like there will be enough Republicans in the Capitol today to certify the election.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. And they must do so because President Trump received a resounding mandate on November 5th, 312 electoral college votes. He won the popular vote, and the American people want him to get to work from 2 weeks from today. So let's certify this election. And then Congress needs to immediately get to work to start drafting a big, beautiful bill that needs to make its way to President Trump's desk as soon as possible. He wants one package to make America safe and wealthy again, to include border security measures, more funding for Border Patrol and ICE so that they can hire more people to help implement the mass deportations that President Trump promised and the American people elected him to implement. And this package also needs to include critical tax relief. We must extend the Trump tax cuts and add President Trump's signature campaign promise to end taxes on tips. Republicans need to get tough and smart, stick together, send this bill to the Resolute desk. President Trump will be there to sign it in a couple of weeks.
Caroline, I got to ask you one more question because you just brought up something that was brand new news last night, and that is President Trump has thrown his weight behind this idea of just one bill, one big, beautiful bill by Memorial Day. I know there are a lot of top Republicans who have said it's got to be two bills because you want to get border and you want to get energy done real fast. But taxes are going to take it, up. It's going to take months to argue about that and figure that out. So what happened? Why did they change their minds?
Mm-hmm. Well, President Trump is the leader of the Republican Party. He has officially weighed in on this as of last night. He wants one bill, and Republicans need to get it done. We must stand strong together. The American people just reelected President Trump again with a resounding mandate to implement these promises that he made to them. They are needing critical relief in both the form of border security to end the invasion of illegal immigrants that we've seen at our southern border over the past 4 years. They want mass deportations. That's why Congress needs to provide that critical funding for Border Patrol. But simultaneously, tax relief is just as high as a priority. President Trump campaigned on that as well. So one bill to President Trump's desk. That's what he wants. Republicans need to get it done.
Okay, indeed. Caroline, thank you very much for joining us today from down in Florida, where it's much warmer than it is here in the Northeast. I'm Steve.
Man, here. The Biden administration, man, they looking real shady. They taking L's. They taking L's left and right, man. They might be so out of touch with regular people that they might not even realize that all the L's that they're taking. So many L's. It's insane. So what the common theme that I'm seeing, okay? The left-wing media, the current administration, the things that they have, the things that they try to say that Donald Trump and the Republicans were doing, right? They try to accuse them of a lot of shady stuff. What we're finding out is the very things that they're accusing the Republicans of doing, the Democrats is actually doing themselves. The very thing that left-wing media is accusing the Republicans of doing, the left-wing media is doing. So you take a look at all the stuff that Joe Biden is doing, right? With the pardoning, the drilling situation, trying to sabotage Donald Trump, with the federal, workers. Okay, you don't have to come into the office for the next 5 years. I'm sure there's a little bit more context to that.